I don't think we'd have even had the diagnosis. Ruth helped. She was imperative to his health and well-being, and I don't know what I'd do without her.
Hi, I'm Laura Nielsen and welcome to Hope in the Deep End. We've put together this podcast to inspire us all to keep working in areas of deprivation and poverty. We're sharing best practice, stories, outcomes and some interesting thoughts and ideas. So whether you're working in primary care, secondary care, the charity sector or any of the other myriad of roles, please listen and help us to keep each other inspired. Welcome to Hope in the Deep End podcast, and this week I'm talking to Ruth from the Focus Care team and Leanna, who has been working alongside Ruth, and she's going to tell us all about her family. So thank you so much. Can you tell us a little bit about yourself and your name and where you're from?
Yes, my name is Leanna. I'm a mum of 4 children, 3 boys, 1 girl. I work part-time, have 4 dogs. It's a very busy household.
Oh my goodness. How old are the children?
25, 20, 16 and 11.
Oh, wow.
So, big family.
That is a big family. And is everyone at home with you?
Yes, they are, yeah.
Yeah, that's cool. So, and obviously you and Ruth seem to know each other. So how did you two first meet?
I looked at my records and it was 2011.
Wow, that's a long time ago.
To do with your son, wasn't it?
Yeah, with my son and myself, yeah. The son that's 20 was diagnosed with autism and Ruth helped. She was imperative to his health and well-being.
Yeah.
So it was, when I visited you, it was behavioural issues, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And no one was addressing it. So we addressed it together and we did it. Well, if I ask Leanna to do anything, she always does it above and beyond, which I wish all my patients did. But so you did a diary of behaviour, didn't you?
I did, yeah.
Different behaviour tactics. And so anyway, we got the right diagnosis at the time, which was autism, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
And then did that help change other things? Did that help change schooling, or what did that diagnosis mean?
It actually helped him within school. The school addressed different measures because he's also got a fear of being touched. It's almost like if somebody bumps into him, it's almost like he feels he's being hit.
Okay.
So the school used to use different methods where they'd get him to put the exercise books out to all the other children so that he could bring himself back into the present, if you like, because he was quite hyperactive.
So that's good. So then was that the end of your contact, or did you stop?
No, I don't think it was
Did it drift off, or did something else happen, or?
Well, so that, if you like, care packet worked.
Yeah.
So that the family were going on the right track. There was a couple of other things going on at the time, wasn't there? And then more recently, it's when he became more of an adult, wasn't it?
Yeah, his diagnosis, I think, has slightly changed. He's still like a younger man, even though he's 20.
Right. Yeah.
And I think it shows more now because he's had a few issues recently that I've needed more help with. So I've reached out to Ruth because, like I said, she's a fundamental part. She's like the core of his beginning, and we've not found the end. I don't know what I'd do without her sometimes, actually.
So how often do you two talk or communicate? Or?
Well, Leanna's a wonderful mum. She's a superb mum. And I think that's why the autism was not seen, because she is such a good mum. So I think the present situation is that I did refer him to an organisation, didn't I? And they were closed, and they were for adult referrals for autism and ADHD, because we both believe he has ADHD as well, and that Concerta medication would really help him, wouldn't it?
I think it would, but unfortunately he got referred in 2019, and I have honestly chased it every 3 or 4 months and got nowhere. And then unfortunately during the Christmas period that's just gone, when the postal strikes were on, we received a letter that he'd missed the appointment by 2 days. And then when I rang to chase it up and ask if they could slot us in somewhere, they said it's actually been taken from us. So now I don't know where he is on the list. So I just unfortunately feel like he's been left. And I think the current situation that he's in is because he's not been diagnosed properly.
So we tried the adult social care system, didn't we? And we tried a PA, and they have a learning disability and autism team now. That didn't quite work. And then I found out that Psychiatry UK have taken over from Lancs. So we did the referral to them, and it has been accepted. So their waiting list, I've made sure that, in fact, I checked this morning. So they have accepted his referral, and the waiting list limit, presently they say, is up to 6 months, which is a lot better. It's not good, but it's a lot better.
So what's life like day to day, obviously in your house? So it feels like quite a lot of pressure on you, Leanna.
Yeah, I do feel a lot of pressure. But if I give up, then there's nobody. So that keeps me going, that keeps me channelled. And I've recently started journaling because I felt like I was a bit of a firework. And my load was a lot because he's not the only son that I've got that's got complex needs. So I recently changed, within the last year, I've changed my whole job and had to work closer to home. I've made myself his appointee, so all of his appointments have to go through me, and it is a lot for me because I do care for my grandparents as well. So, but that's what part and parcel of being a mum, and that's what we do, isn't it? So I'll keep going.
I think it's amazing. I think you can just feel that you're like the linchpin of this family. That everything kind of comes to you, and that just must be just a huge amount of work and pressure and worry. I can understand why you feel a bit of a firework, and journaling and stuff.
Ruth's always very kind.
Yeah. And do you think it's helpful to have someone like Ruth that you can just contact and say, today's gone really wrong?
Honestly, she's been amazing throughout the years. And the little things as well, like I remember one Christmas, she came and brought Christmas presents, which wasn't even needed, but that's just her. I think Ruth goes above and beyond. And I don't know what I'd do without her.
Oh. You two obviously have a really good relationship. You're like smiling at each other.
I send her the odd text message as well every now and again, just to check in and let her know where we are. And it's new, but tomorrow we've actually got a social worker coming to the house because I've chased it up and made sure that I don't let things fall. I always have to keep on top.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And Leanna is such a good, you can tell,
yeah,
just listening to her talking, that she really cares for all her family. She's had one knock after another and she's still standing.
I don't know how sometimes, but yeah, we have to keep going.
You're amazing. Yeah, because people listening won't be able to see, but you are absolutely stunningly beautiful. And you've got amazing makeup on today. You look absolutely gorgeous.
I haven't actually got it on today.
Have you not? It's like your natural skin. Oh no, I'm really jealous now. This is not fair.
I've got mascara on.
That's amazing. So yeah, and you can kind of feel the love. I mean, there are lots of mums out there, aren't they, who struggle with their kids, and I think one of the things you can not answer this, but I mean, my children are getting older now, and I'm kind of looking to that point where they might leave home in a kind of, I know lots of people struggle with that, but actually I'm quite excited. But given that you've got there's so much complexity in your family, I guess that life path is just quite different. How's that?
I think we're very, very lucky. Like through coronavirus and lockdown, I retrained, I opened a beauty salon in my back garden.
Oh wow.
We converted a camper van, so we never stop really. We always keep going, and we always do everything as a family. So I think we're very lucky.
And what do you do? Do you have any time for fun, or do you do
yeah,
I guess walking the dogs maybe? Or?
Yeah, and I don't see caring for my grandparents as a challenge. I love to spend time with her. She's very special. I'm very close to my auntie. And the children themselves have activities. They keep us busy.
Yeah.
We definitely are a unit together. So
notice she carefully evaded any I like to. She's a family person, but there's no self-cherishing is difficult.
I do my own nails.
That's amazing. Yeah.
So I take time out for that. I go and sit in the cabin if I need a breather away from everybody.
That's amazing. I think it's really interesting to see how you've made life work. That you did all those changes in lockdown, that you've changed your job. You don't strike me as somebody who's bitter about that. I talk to lots of people who say, well, I had to do this because this happened to me, and they're bitter.
I needed to do it for my children, but it was something that I needed to do as well. It weren't, it's benefited us, and the work that I do now still fits around the family. So I'm just at home a lot more, and that's what was necessary. Yeah. And you can see it in the children now. They're different because I'm there.
Yeah.
I don't miss tea times or breakfast. I can take them to school, pick them up. I'm around for all of his appointments. Working in the cabin works around those appointments. So it's good. It's good all round.
You can keep an eye on everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can see him out the window all the time.
See what's going on. Yeah. That's really incredible. So just can you sum up the difference that you think focused care and Ruth has made? What can you imagine what it would have been like if you hadn't had Ruth?
I think you need to have somebody that works in the health and care background to back you up as a person, because if I make an email or a telephone call, nobody knows who I am. And I think she's, like I said, the core or the backbone of that referral, because she knows me personally. But as a professional.
So giving you that emotional support, but then also advocating for stuff.
Because I do really care, and I do want the best for not just myself, but other people. And I don't think I'd have had that, because even when I rang, I hope I'm allowed to say this, but I rang social services, and the adult, what was the team, the autism and
learning disability and autism
team. And instead of asking me what the problems were, she said, well, what do you want to gain from it? And I thought, well, surely there's got to be somebody that can reassess the situation that we're in now, because every couple of months is different, never mind every few years.
Okay. So it's almost like having somebody to be your ally in this system that's really clunky and really difficult to navigate.
I don't think we'd have even had the diagnosis, because my son doesn't fit the typical boxes for autism, and he never has. So it took quite a while. I don't think he was even diagnosed till he was 11, maybe 12. So it was quite late, and then I think he got lost during school, the secondary school. And I remember having a conversation with Ruth, and she said, maybe look at changing him, and he, changing the school. And like my son didn't want to change. He wanted to stay. So I allowed him to stay. And I think looking back, the best thing would have been to make that decision. But me as a mum didn't really know where to go with it.
I think those parenting decisions are so difficult, aren't they? We do our best for our kids, and you make decisions and you just don't really know whether they're right or not right, or whether there's a better option. And I think hindsight's really tricky, actually, because we don't know, do we? And I think you make the decisions for your kids out of love, and that's that's all you can do, isn't it?
You just try your best.
You try your best as a mum, don't you?
And I'm still going, so I'm doing something.
You're doing
right.
amazingly. You're doing amazingly. So thank you so much for coming in. Is there anything else you wanted to tell us, or anything that you think?
I'd just like to say that I think anybody that works alongside Ruth, whether it's in the long term or the short term, will really benefit. Yeah. She is a wonderful person and is a great advocate.
Yeah. She's amazing.
She is. She really is.
And as someone who's been on a road trip around the country in a car with Ruth, there's always a story. That's good. Thank you so much for coming in.
You're very welcome.
That was really special to hear your story. So thank you. It's really generous to share it.
I hope I don't lose touch with her ever.
In my wheelchair.
I'll push her, it's fine.
She'll build you a cabin. You'll be all right.
Yeah. It's luxury.
Thank you.
Thanks.